Okay, I called cap in a previous video that money can't buy happiness. Yes, it can. It absolutely can. Okay, my student loans are gone, and I am a much happier individual. I am. So, provided you have so many other things in place, and you guys can check out that video, I'll link it below, then yes, you can certainly buy happiness. There is so much that money can do for you because it can provide that stability and that freedom that you may not have without it. And once you are free from certain things, then guess what? You get to actually pour into yourself in a lot of ways, and also those that you love and care about, and pouring into others can bring you so much more happiness and satisfaction than just into yourself. Not to neglect yourself, but how many of you get far more excited when you're gifting something to someone than when like you are receiving a gift? I tell friends and family and loved ones, like, I don't need you to buy me anything. Don't even worry about it, please. Like, my mom has to forcibly give me gifts or money towards gifts or things for myself because I'm like, I'm good. I got it. I don't need that. But me giving them gifts, no, I have to stop myself, because if I see something and I think a loved one will want it, I'm like, ooh, yeah, just that's them. And then it's like, can you stop? Can you please just pull back? So I certainly think that money can buy a happiness for you. Again, provided you have a lot of other things already set in place. But I read a book and I'm trying to just get back into reading a little bit more. I was just trash with it in 2023. 2024, I've done better. So there's a book called Happy Money, The Science of Smarter Spending. Now, I chose to pick this up just because I am kind of in this season of life where how do I want to spend? Because I have more freedom with my income to spend as I would like. And that is something you grant yourself when you may have removed consumer debt or student loan debt in some way. You have a lot more freedom. I also said in a recent video, I am more able to do things. I'm also less willing to do things with my money. It just depends. A lot of the things that I may have done in the past to just rush out and buy sneakers or anything. For what you see behind me, like, mind you, only 6 pairs have been purchased this year, and I just really do still feel like I'm done. But I just want to go over a few concepts, or at least one in this book, because it definitely tied in to sneakers, and that's what I try to do. If there is a financial or personal finance concept that I either come across or I think, or maybe is relative to my life, I'll bring it here to the channel and of course link it back to sneakers, because that's why we're all here. But sidebar, you guys already know, of course I am here in Yankees apparel. I'm not sure when this is coming out, but more importantly, we are in the World Series and we have not been there since 2009. I promise you, I remember that because I was in my dorm room as an undergrad and I was supposed to be studying for a really big econ test and I could not focus because we were in the World Series and we won. Oh, what a time. Just, my core four, just... Yeah, so we are back and I wanted a Los Angeles. I wanted the Dodgers and I wanted the Yankees. I actually do own a Dodgers hat. It was a gift. I will not be wearing that at this time. It's just absolutely positively not happening. One of you said, though, you would love for Jerry to, like, come back out with a new era and to have, like, a Dodgers hat. If they win, who knows? That could happen. I am also the person, I hold off on buying any, like, finals or World Series apparel. I don't buy that until we've actually completed the job, okay? Until we've won. I don't just want a lot of things around here reminding me that we lost. I don't. So, like, for example, any of my teams, I don't have things from the years that maybe we made it to the championship and then we lost. I don't want those memories in my life. I just don't. So, for this concept, right? So it talks about the experiences versus like the concrete material things you may buy and how that happiness or that satisfaction differs. So between a material purchase or an experience, which made you happier? And I think a lot of people would, if they were polled this question, they would say an experience, right? The memories. And so many of you even gravitate away from sneakers, maybe once you are making and creating those memories. And it can be with a significant other, okay? Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. And then maybe you have children and you're building experiences and memories with them. You move away from just the material things because that's not bringing as much happiness to you as it is for those things. Now, I will say this, allocating funds towards those things, it's not always as quick as you just dishing out money for, I don't know, like a hat, a jersey, a pair of sneakers. It's not as quick. Sometimes you need to plan. You have to delay that gratification. You are saving up. You're putting money aside to go towards this experience. And I think, like, again, that anticipation, the buildup, that's what excites us the most. And I think above actually having the physical item, when we're talking about material things, the physical item itself. A lot of you are excited once the leaks happen and you see creators talking about the shoe and the first in-hand looks. You're probably more excited, like your dopamine is probably higher during that period. Once this shoe arrives, for so many of you, it just plummets. It just drops right back down. the shoe just gets thrown to the back, and it just becomes whatever. And we'll also get to that because I think that is mentioned here in the book. So I think it is like that anticipation and that buildup. And I know some people say, well, they're just shoes, let's just focus on that. Okay, well, like, the psychology of it is interesting to me when it comes to how and why we buy and we go about things. So they said, people will enjoy something more viewing it as an experiential purpose. I think Nike understands this. I think this is why they want consumers on the sneakers app more than just browsing to search, but they want you engaged. They have stories, they have brands that are just opening up about who they are, the intention behind the campaign. They're including you, the actual consumer, on that app. Think about it. When you see somebody you personally know, and it could just be like an internet friend, right? Maybe you haven't met them in person, but you've deeply connected with them on the internet over shoes. So you feel like you know them. You're beyond happy and excited for them to get the opportunity to be featured on Sneakers app. And then you are going through, now they had the lives at one point, you were able to interact. So they want it to be an experience. They want you holistically in. Again, I've said, like, cradle to grave. They want you in there. They want you bought in. And I think that's why they have put so much into, I think, like, the game plan of the Sneakers app. Now, I myself don't even open said app, and it's just where I am when it comes to sneakers. There's like not much on there that I need to browse or look at, because again, I'm not chasing after these releases anymore. I'm not. But let's just take a look at the fact that I think sneakers are viewed more as an experiential purpose than just a material purpose. I really do. We have the Sneakers app and that experience, and it's traumatizing, I feel like, for some of you, because my goodness, like, the crash outs that happen on the timelines, on videos, and I've been one to do it as well, because in the past, you want this shoe, you're trying, and it's really like Cat Williams, trying shit, doesn't work, nothing works. And you take L after L after L, it becomes a terrible experience, so much so that some people have walked away forever from sneakers, even though it is quite easier now to be able to get things. Well, some things, not all things. It is easier now for people to be able to get things, but just based off that experience, they were done with it. When you think about raffles as well, right? That's an experience. It does add to the actual purchase of the shoe. It's different versus you just walking in. Now, I'm someone that prefers to just be able to walk into a store and get a shoe and walk back out. I love that. I've been able to do that for shoes recently, or it's really easy just to see it online, right? Again, not on Sneakers app, but I can just go Nike, I can go on Adidas app, so many other retailers, and just purchase the shoe. So maybe that part of the experience is removed, but it's easier for me. But raffles add into it, okay? People wanting to do campouts. You hear so much that people that have been in this game for a while, they want campouts to come back. I myself am not participating in those. 1, for my own safety, and 2, y'all don't know how to act, and 3, it's just not that deep for me when it comes to a shoe. It's not. I don't need to camp out, okay? I pay for these utilities and amenities. I will be enjoying them in my king-size bed. Okay, so also when you just think about on-site launches and pickups too, so if you have an experience that is going on physically on-site, like when you think about J-Tips and the launch of his shoe, that was an experience for consumers that they will remember. They documented, they took pictures with him and others they were in line with. So I think the experiences certainly matter. I think sneakers was trying to move to it being more of that versus just, hey, this is just the product, because the product is always going to be there and thrown in our faces. Can you make it mean a little bit more? And they try to do that with collab rollouts and campaigns, even though they just seem really watered down, and there's a lot of fatigue there. But there was a quote that said, I remember the yearning and the dream seemed out of reach. And the dream of some of these shoes, it does seem out of reach, right? Like, you just can't get there, and then you finally get it, and do you really care about it? I don't think you do as much as you think you do. So satisfaction with experiential purchases tends to increase with the passage of time. So the experience that you have, while satisfaction with material purchases tends to decrease. It just becomes part of the background. Even though you may go through an experience to get that shoe, once you have it, it's still just the material thing. So what does it do? It gets thrown into the background. It can get thrown just on the back of this wall, and it doesn't necessarily mean as much as what it did ahead of time. And I don't know if that's reality a lot of us want to admit when we are chasing shoes, but just thoughts, okay? So, and I'm just curious for yourself, has the experience changed so much for you in a good way or a bad way that you feel that, like, the experience itself is something you look forward to more with the shoe you really want? Or is it actually the product? And once you get the product, do you really still think that you have that same high from when you were chasing after it? I'm, again, just curious. So like I said, I'm not chasing after shoes like that anymore. Certainly not. I said in a previous video how I'm allocating money towards things that it doesn't have to go towards student loans anymore. Extra money on my car payment, putting money into my Roth IRA, and I already have money that is put in for my 401k and also match. So yeah, listen, put money into the S&P 500. Actually, I think a few weeks ago, I went ahead and bought On stock. This is not financial advice for you to do or take yourself, but also into On, just based on me monitoring and just paying attention to how that brand is growing and doing so well with consumers and in the footwear space. But yeah, that's what I chose to do, not necessarily chasing the shoe, but continuing to pour into myself because, yeah, I want the experience of being able to be okay and somewhat comfortable in retirement. These things will not do that. They really won't. They'll just become something else that I need to take care of, and that doesn't pay the bills. So I appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Listen, if this is up before the World Series has ended, who were you pulling for? Was it the Yankees? Was it the Dodgers? Or did your team get knocked out? Are you just not a fan of baseball at all? Or are you actually choosing to watch because these are two of the most historic franchises and they are meeting for the 12th time in baseball history? And that's a great thing. All right, again, I appreciate you tuning in. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.